Good morning, good morning. Happy Thursday. I hope you guys are having a great morning. Sorry I'm a little late and I'm a little discombobulated. For whatever reason, OBS, the software I use to stream, decided to uninstall itself. And I did not know until I tried to click the shortcut button and it told me that the program was not there. So yeah, I had to reinstall everything, and I was trying to make sure that like all of my overlays and stuff would save. Apparently it did, so at least I got that much out of it. So as you can see on the screen, a little negative today, basically break even. There was one trade where it followed my rules just fine. The zigzag changed, and because of the location of the trade, I did not break even. I told you guys my goal is to basically not have to break even very often, like manually. So I'll take that one into account and kind of see, because it could just be a one-off. It could be something that I need to pay attention to. I really don't know. I won't know really for a while. So we'll just kind of wait and see what happens. Yeah. All right, that was a pretty decent size push. Starting to think I could take those. I might have to see that happen a couple more times before I feel comfortable. But that sell right there, it reacted off of my major level, but I wanted it to like rotate on it and it didn't, so I didn't take it. But I feel like I don't need it to rotate anymore as long as it follows all my other rules. If it doesn't rotate, I don't know, we'll see. Hopefully we are out of the rhythmic issue saga. Been having issues since Monday. Some people said they've been having issues since Friday, actually. I haven't, but I definitely have been having issues since Monday. That's why I did not trade yesterday. Once those charts froze at 842, that was it for me. That was it for me. Thankfully, I was just break even yesterday anyway, but one of my accounts is like a negative break even, and they did reset it back to the previous day, so that was cool. I didn't even ask for it because I wasn't worried about it, but I think the way that they reset accounts are going to be a lot different than before. Because before, if you just ended the day with a negative balance, they were resetting it. Now, I believe they're actually going through and filtering, and like you had to take a trade during the time that the outage was, otherwise you won't get it reset. I think that's the new thing, which I think that's fair, because some people were like essentially like, let's say that they trade in the afternoon, but they saw that there was an outage earlier in the morning, you know, they'll just YOLO in the afternoon because they believe that, hey, well, if I have a negative end of day, they're going to reset it anyway. And I think that was causing a problem. Basically, people who shouldn't have really gotten a reset have been getting resets. So I think that's the end of that. Oh, that's what I wanted to look at. excuse me. Because I think I already noticed the pattern for that loss. I think there's like a certain pattern I don't want the swings to look like. I wasn't tracking it there. Alright. Ooh, one bar pullback, I think. $2.4 Okay, it changed its spine. 1,038. $13.07. No, thank you. Yeah. I'm really feeling like the changes that I made are gonna be good. Give me another few weeks and I'll have everything solidified. Dang it, I wasn't paying attention to the full probably until last week, maybe. All right, that's gonna, the next sale will be invalid. $567. Good morning, Rio. How are you? Were you affected by the rhythmic outage yesterday? I know you usually go pre-market, but you said no more pre-market, so. I don't understand how people were able to get back on the charts because there was a lot of data missing. I mean, on my Rinkos, I couldn't really tell. Like, I had to go to a time-based chart and then I could tell that there was data missing, which made sense. But you know, with the Rinkos, it just fills everything in. So even though the data came back, I'm like, there's gonna be missing data for the time that the charts were frozen, because Rhythmic doesn't just automatically populate that data. So then when I was looking at a couple of streamers who trade on time-based charts, I definitely saw there was a huge gap of data that was missing. But I mean, I guess if you trade a certain way, it doesn't affect you. For me, like, no, because now you've, well, not purposely, but the structure is manipulated for me and I can't trade that way. So I just let it be. Okay, well that just took off. What was my lag? 0.02. was a great trade, and I don't even know how it didn't. Zero. Yeah, I should have gotten filled there. That's so annoying. Super annoying. I don't understand how I wasn't filled, because my entry, hold on. So the difference between the first reversal bar and then the following candle, there was like a 0.005 difference. I'm not worried about that. But 2 candles later, it came back and hit that entry price. And the difference between those bars is like 0.07 seconds. So I don't know if the lag timer went further than what I thought at the time or what. But that should have filled me. So I have to like figure out how to really determine when I will and won't get filled. Because that definitely came back and hit my entry. Happened really fast, but I don't know if that's gonna hold. My major level is right here, but it's looking like it might not be able to hold the trade. It's all good. But yeah, that's kind of annoying. I should have definitely gotten filled there. That sucks. The second line down there is basically the level that my minor trend changed from a sell to a buy. Sometimes it hits the level and reacts off of it. Sometimes, it doesn't react that drastically and it just drops. So just kind of is what it is, honestly. Did I get back up for yesterday? I didn't trade. Well, I did trade. I took 2 trades. They were break evens. And then I got off the charts. As soon as it froze at 8:42, I went into the moderator chat, the moderator and admin and customer service chat, and I basically just told them, hey, it's bad. Let me see the phone. Gotta stop clicking the ads, boo. Here. But yeah, so I just gamed all day yesterday. I couldn't help, well, I could have if I had my computer open, but my computer was being really crazy. You're welcome. The baby had my phone all day, so I couldn't help in the Discord chat with them. For whatever reason, my computer yesterday, I thought it died on me because like my mouse wasn't moving, the trackpad wasn't moving. And every time I tried to turn the computer on, nothing was happening. So I had to drain the battery a little bit first. It was very weird. I don't know if it was like overheated or what. I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know what happened yesterday, but it was very awkward. I'm still kind of salty about not getting filled on that trade. Because why is this a problem? I don't understand. But yeah, so I just spent the day gaming. I have the kids again today, so I'm definitely not helping in the Discord today either. I got things to do. You know what? It'll mess up over there. You know what? Let's save this as tab. At least with this trade, like I wouldn't have, it didn't even hit my break-even point, since my break-even point is 22 ticks now instead of 20. Now if it was 20, I would have gotten filled, but it's 22 now, so even though it kind of like stopped me out with a couple of extra ticks, I would have not won the trade either way, so that makes me happy. Sounds weird, but it does. All right, we have 2 more news events coming up that I gotta pay attention to. First one is natural gas in 6 minutes. Then we have a speaker that's speaking at 9:50, so I have to be careful with that as well. Just never know. As much as things say low impact news, you never know the impact it's gonna have. All of it's speculation. I do want to continue looking through. Oh, I guess I don't have enough data yet, but I have a hunch, so we'll kind of see. Probably the next time that one particular loss from this morning happens, I'll sit out because I kind of have a hunch. And I need to do that real quick. What did you do to the phone? Give me the phone. Give it here. Stop clicking stuff. You're gonna stop using my phone if you keep clicking things. Watch the video and stop clicking stuff. So you're just gonna keep mocking me, huh? You think that's cute? You think it's cute, huh? Why did I? What am I looking to do? I'm over here messing up. Paying attention to him. All right, I don't want to take a buy here because we got that resistance level there. I will. The first account that's listed, why the big jump pre-market? Was there any kind of news? I only write down news like that happens during the time that I'm trading. Let's see. Why did everything reset? Even my Forex factory reset. There was 7:30 news this morning. Unemployment claims and core PCE price index. That's 7:30 Central Standard Time. So if there was a big jump, it probably was because of that. Most 7:30 news has, well, when it says high impact, it typically is going to be high impact. 0021. You know what? Oh wait, no. Okay, never mind. Never mind. Oh, shoot. I closed the thing again. Yeah, more than likely that was why. Good morning, Biz Phone. 48. I forgot to fill out this one part of my trade journal. Then I'm gonna have to today go back and do today and yesterday for yesterday's entry, because I didn't do it. I'm trying to get better with doing it daily. Sometimes once you get off the charts, you just want to be done. Oh yeah, the first account that's listed, I'm gonna purposely be bombing that after the stream, or maybe I'll do it at the end of the stream, I don't know. But either way, actually I'll probably just do it at the end of the stream, because with me not doing the daily updates, it doesn't really matter anymore. Let me make sure. Pretty sure, yeah, the first account needs to be bombed today because it renews Friday, and then the last account, it renews on Tuesday, so I'll just bomb it on Monday. It's no big deal, because we like free resets around here. Okay, make sure. Yep, March 1st and March 5th. So that's what we'll be doing today. All right, here's the 9:30 news. That's likely not going to do much of anything. Was that it's low impact? Okay. I just really want to see it get away from this resistance level, honestly, because I don't really want to take buys here. And then sales are kind of because the prior open is here, which can act as a level of support. So I really wanted to either clear above this high over here or just get below this low right here, the higher low. Do I have a boyfriend? Where am I getting my impact data from? I look on forexfactory.com, or if you see the news indicator over here, sorry, I didn't realize that was there. This news indicator sources from faireconomy.media, but it's literally the same impact as Forex Factory. I used to use investing.com, but I don't like their impact system because, I mean, you know, every company is different, but what I've found is that whatever impact it says is going to be on Forex Factory, that's typically true for me. And the only reason it matters for me is because that determines when I stop trading and when I restart trading. So like all of them, I stopped trading a minute before, right? Now, what I used to do with high impact news is I would stop completely 7 minutes before. But what I've noticed is that, and that's because, you know, within those last couple of minutes before high impact news, a lot more people are withdrawing their orders and stuff, or moving stop losses and take profits and things to prepare for such a high impact news event. So there's a lot less volume in the market before a high impact news event, right? So, but what I have noticed is that I really only need to do that when it's 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, high impact news, because I don't trade pre-market, so I don't care about that. But whatever, you know, events happen between 8:30 in the morning and 11 o'clock in the morning, if let's say it's a 10 o'clock a.m. high impact news event, I can still trade up until 1 minute before. It's just always the 9 a.m. I don't know what it is about the 9 a.m. news, but and then with low impact news, I restart 1 minute after. And then with medium and high impact news, I restart 2 minutes after. So that's the biggest reason why the type of impact matters. So like on investing.com, there was a lot of times where it would be like listed as a high impact news event. Like let's say crude oil, that event has not really had much impact for a while. I remember years ago, it was definitely a high impact news event. It's not really anymore. So I would always say use the source where the way that they list the impact shows how you see the market, if that makes sense. So yeah, forexfactory.com or faireconomy.media, whatever. But see, like for me, I need the indicator on my screen because I literally forget. I will literally have it written down in my trade journal for the entry for the day. Now, I used to keep my trade journal open like while I was trading. At this point, I don't really, unless I have a hunch about something and I want to look at the last couple of weeks of trades to kind of like look at that particular setup to see if what I'm thinking matches up. But aside from that, I don't really have it open anymore. And even when I did used to have it open, I would totally not even look at the top of because I would always put it at the top of the page, like what news events were that day. And I would put L if it's low impact, M if it's medium, H if it's high, and just put the time. I don't really care what the news event is, but I would always forget. I would. So having it directly on my screen, number one, it's always in my face. And number two, this indicator will actually make a news noise. I downloaded it and uploaded it. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but yeah. So I have it to alert me 15 minutes before, which doesn't matter. And then it alerts me like a little before, like 7.5 minutes before, which basically is, hey, it's coming up. Whenever, that happens, if I'm in a trade, I do go ahead and I break even because I have noticed that the price will act kind of wonky sometimes, like right 7 minutes before. So I'll close whatever trades I'm in, but then I can continue to trade up until 1 minute beforehand. And then it'll alert me again, I think a minute before, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember. But yeah. Yes, I do have a boyfriend. You use Market Watch economic calendar, but it doesn't give a possible impact range. Do I have a course? No. And to be honest with you, I don't know if I ever will. I definitely don't in this moment because I'm still developing my strategy, which is going to take a little bit more time because there's not a lot of data out there regarding Renko strategies. So I'm literally building this from scratch. So it's legit going to take me time. But at this moment, I still don't really know if I'll ever have a course because I feel like, let me have the phone. Give me phone. Oh, you just had to skip the ads, silly goose. You leaving? You got something in your hair. There you go. I fixed it. Bye-bye. Anyway. The whole purpose of me getting back into trading is because I've spent a lot of time in different industries where I was always caring for other people, like with nursing or just serving people in different aspects. I had a credit repair business. I had a direct sales business. Like I just had a lot going on. And I love helping people, but I'm very energy sensitive, if that makes sense. So like I get drained. My energy gets drained when I'm having to interact with people a lot, which is why if you're in the Apex Discord, you'll notice that sometimes I disappear for a couple of days at a time, even as a moderator, because it could be a lot. So even though you can have a course, like for instance, when I closed my credit repair business, I had people asking me to put together a DIY course for people, and it sounded cute at first, which I was never going to do it anyway. But even when you have a course that says it's DIY, people are still going to ask you questions, email you, message you on social media and say, hey, I was looking at lesson 1 module 5 and you said XYZ, but it looks like 1 2 3, what do I do? And it's like, I'm trading because, well, number one, my lifestyle won't have to depend on anybody buying anything from me. I do have another business that's like e-commerce, but I don't have to do anything with that. Somebody else runs the entire thing, so I don't have to worry about customers, like nothing. But then also it's like, it's just me and the charts. I don't have to depend on anyone else for anything. I feel like me streaming and having a YouTube, which this is not my first YouTube. If you Google my name, I have a whole nother YouTube that has like 18,000 subscribers on it that I've kind of abandoned, to be honest with you. But, you know, when it comes to that, at least I can interact for 2.5 hours and then I can go about my day. You know, as my channel starts to grow, I know I'll get more comments and stuff and on videos, and I'll have to sometimes respond to them, but I'm not obligated to. I feel like if someone purchases a product from me, I'm obligated to help them because I sold them a product. You know what I mean? And I'm kind of entering the phase of my life where I don't want to have to be obligated to anyone but myself. It sounds very selfish. When you spend your entire life serving others, at some point you want to be selfish. You do. Just to maintain your own sanity. You do. So it shows impact by color only. So I'll show you what it looks like. So you can choose, like if you trade London news or anything like that, you can always include more than just US. But I personally only look at US news because none of the other news matters to me. But you can see that it'll give you the time and then it'll show you. So like, let's say a day like today, there was 7:30 news and there was high impact and low impact. When I write whatever news events happen during the time I'm trading, when I write it down, I only write it based on whatever is the highest impact. So like there's sometimes where at 9 a.m. there's high, medium, and low. I don't care about the medium and low because the only thing that matters for me is the high. Hopefully that makes sense. So that's what it looks like. As far as the time frame my Renko charts is on, there's no time frame. Renko's is pure price action. It does not matter what time something happened. The bar is not going to close until the price reaches that level, basically. Yeah. So, but my Renko settings, I have a brick size of 20 and then a trend threshold of 1. So that means that from open to close, whether it's the real bar or the fake ones in the middle, from literally the open to the close is 20 ticks. And then every new bar that paints in that direction is 1 tick. So when it moves 1 more tick in that direction, that bar is going to close. Now, because my brick size is 20, when it comes to the wick, in order for a bar to close for me, from the top to the bottom of this reversal candle is 40 ticks. So it's twice the size of the brick size, basically. So that's why my entries have to be really precise, because the market technically has already moved 10 points of 40 ticks in order to reverse in the direction I'm trying to get into the trade, right? And then I needed to go an extra 6 points because that's my take profit. So hopefully that made sense. So with this particular trade here, legit, the only reason why I didn't take it because the volume pattern I was looking for wasn't really there. So I had to kind of sit out of that one in particular. But yeah, I've tried different Renko settings. I've been trading with Renkos for a while. Like I was first introduced to Renkos when I first started trading 10 years ago. And give me 1 second. SMB or A. This should be more than that one, I think. So that's not gonna work. Anyway, So the last Renko setting that I was using prior to switching to this one was 20 and 2. I've traded with a 16 and 2 chart as well. The 20 and 2 chart is fine, but I think that I don't like the 1 bar pullbacks on there. And also, essentially, like this move that's 55 bars, that's the number. Oh, you can't see. So I'll show you this one. So like how this has 101 bars, that means that this move from here to there is 101 ticks. However, remember there's an extra 40 ticks to start the move. So this is really like 140 ticks from top to bottom. Okay. Now, do I want to take that? Probably. The biggest thing when you're on a 20 and 2 chart is because the threshold is 2. I'm trying to figure out if I want to take this or not. I think I will. It's whatever. Most of these accounts are about to be gone by next Friday, purposely. But anyway, so the move won't be as fluid because like the move will only be like half the size of this because the brick size is 2 versus 1, if that makes sense. Okay, we got an orange order here. That just took off. Is it gonna hit my, please take profit? It came 1 tick from hit my take profit. I think it's gonna, all right, we got a break even there. You guys saw that like reacted big time. My major level was right here. So it had a lot to push off of. It's really a support level, but you know, support can become resistance. And I just realized it didn't close one of my orders. Great. I don't know which one of my accounts just took forever. Yeah, it didn't close the second, or one of the 4 accounts didn't close. And this is why I always have my positions tab open in the bottom left corner of my screen. I think by the time I closed it, it was like an extra 40 bucks. I have to see. Oh, that's not what I was trying to do. I have to see if I still have my hotkey. Let's see what account that was. It's the second 50K account. Oh, so I lost like 24 bucks on that trade instead of just breaking even at $1. Great. You love to see it. Literally came 1 tick from taking profit. You're welcome. It's definitely something to look into. I feel like it's a cross between like Heikin-Ashi. The only reason I say Heikin-Ashi is because I know a lot of people use Heikin-Ashi to like filter the noise, you know? So it kind of does that because it's pure price action, except, well, and kind of like Heikin-Ashi, there is a fake open and close, but that's only on the bars that's in between the reversal bars. That's it. And I guess technically this bar really didn't open down here. But it's still like pure price action or whatever. So I know some people who like to use, I feel like I made that not a thing anymore. Yeah, I did. I know some people who like to still use their time-based charts. And then like, let's say they're looking at a supply demand zone or support and resistance level or something. They'll have the level drawn and then they'll just look for either divergence on a Renko chart at that level. I would prefer volume divergence, which is a lot different than like RSI, MACD, stochastic divergence or whatever. But yeah, they'll just look at divergence on a Renko chart, or they'll look for, you know, higher high, higher low, and then buy off of the level, kind of like that or whatever. There's like one more divergence trade I want to add to my arsenal, which I kind of have a feeling that I've kind of figured it out. I don't know all the way yet though. It's just like a more minor. So I have some divergence levels that are like legit counter trend, right? Then some of them are counter trend to the minor trend, but they still go in the direction of my overall bias. And then some of them are like divergence levels that are basically just like bigger pullbacks because they just pull back to my major level. And then the divergence happens there. So there's one more I want to add, which is like a shorter divergence that basically is still in the direction of the minor and major trend. And I want to do that because basically sometimes like it'll react off of my minor level, but it's not a valid trade. So it'll kind of like reverse immediately, but then it'll create divergence at my minor level and just take off. So I was having trouble trying to figure out like the pattern I was looking for, but now I kind of think that I got it. So we'll see. We will see. All right, so here's the low impact news right now. I still don't know if like after news, I used to wait like until the market created two swings in order for me to get back in. I don't think I have to do that anymore. Put that back in the middle like that. I don't think I have to, but I'm not completely sure. That was low impact, so we only need, let's see, 675. No, it needs to be less than. Less than. All right, we've pulled back to this resistance level that we were kind of stuck at for a while earlier. All right, that pulled back more than I wanted it. Let's see what we got going here. That shouldn't matter. Hopefully I can get back break even. I wouldn't be mad if I'm not though. So far this week it hasn't really been that bad for real. Especially considering I've basically only traded 3 days or 2 days. Today would be the third. So it's not too bad. The 25K account that I started on Monday is at 24,965. So that lets me know that it's not that bad this week. All right, I don't want this to be a 1 bar pullback. If it is, I'm not going to take that trade. This particular 1 bar pullback I don't like. So we're not going to trade it. When I exited the last trade, did I hold on. Oh, please. Did I set a limit order on the Renko chart? So, I use an ATM and also, hold on, let me write something on my chart real quick. Number one, I use an ATM. So every trade that I enter, there's automatically a stop loss and a take profit. And I only use limit orders. I do not use market orders. And that's mainly because my charts can move really fast sometimes. I have thought about possibly using market orders for my entry, but then that throws things off. So for me, it's like if I only have like one trade a day, which I think the other day I did have 2 trades where it took off and hit my take profit before I was even able to be entered into the trade, right? So if I only have like one trade that happens like that every couple days, I feel like I like that better than using market orders, and now my entries are all over the place because again, I have to be really precise. I'm going for 6 points every time I'm in these trades, right? So I don't want my order. So typically my order will be when the bar closes. I have a chart trader, and I can show you what that looks like, but I have a chart trader that enters my trades automatically at the close of the bar, and it puts my entry 1 tick beyond the close of the bar, right? So I don't want my entry to be somewhere down here because price just took off as soon as the reversal bar happened. You know what I mean? Because then I could lose a trade because that swing only took 6 points and then reversed. But now I have a loss because my entry wasn't perfect. So I do use limit orders for entries and exit. 24 tick stop loss, 24 tick take profit. Having a 1-to-1 for scalping for me was so important because even when I was first learning how to trade, most people who scalped had either no stop loss or, you know, they were doing like a 2-to-1, 3-to-1. I don't know why people do risk to rewards backwards now. When people say positive risk to rewards, now it's like they'll say 2-to-1, but they're really saying that they risk $10 to make 20. Well, if it says risk to reward, risk should be first. So a 2-to-1 is technically meaning you're risking twice as much as you get if you win, right? So, that was like a big thing. Even some streamers that I watch, still to this day, they have a super negative risk to reward ratio. They'll allow themselves to either completely blow the account, but they add into losers to try to get back to break even or get back to profit or whatever. And then you have some who have a set stop loss and take profit where their stop loss is like way out there, but they're only going for like 15 to 20 ticks. That is insane to me, and my brain does not work that way. So besides my take profit and stop loss, I do have an auto break even. It used to be where when I was 20 ticks in profit, my stop loss would move to break even. Now it's 22. So basically 2 ticks before I take profit is when I break even. At one point, I remember it used to be like 10 ticks or 15, and I was finding that it was breaking even a lot because, again, this is pure price action. So here it is, I'm in the trade. It hits a level, like let's say a minor level, a major level, whatever. It'll reverse hit my break even and then just take back off in the right direction. So I'm giving myself enough room for price to do whatever it wants in between that time. But by the time I get to 22 ticks in profit, most of the time, if it hits my break even, it's just going to continue going in the opposite direction. I'm going to get an opposite reversal bar and there's a new swing. So that's just what I've discovered with all of my back testing. At some point it could possibly change. I don't really want to probably ever do like an all or nothing, meaning no break even. But also you'll see my stop loss move up. So once I'm so far into this 6-point move, you'll see my stop loss start to trail, and you'll notice that it'll be attached to like one of these 2 levels right here. So if I was going for a buy, once I get a certain number of bars into the swing, my stop loss is going to attach to this sell, right? The sell line. And that's just basically saying like, hey, if this reversal bar happens at this point, just get out of the trade, because it's very rare that I'll get stopped out with the reversal candle and then it goes back in my direction. Very rare. So that's why I trail the close of the bar. And I'll show you the chart trader that I use, and I'll put it on sim so you can kind of see how it works. Let me go. like that trade? No. Yeah, no, I don't. All right, let me put this on sim and I'll show you what it looks like. So this is how I'm able to get such precise entries, and I always tell the guy who made it, like, I'm so grateful for him, because there would be literally no way that I could do this manually. All right, so let me put this back on sim real quick. All right. So this is the chart trader I use. So let's say I wanted to get into a buy at the close of this bar. Do you have to make so much noise? I would just push this green button. And this is basically saying at the close of a buy bar, enter a buy. Okay. And you can see it highlights my whole screen green. And then same thing for sell. Shh, you're too loud. You're too loud. Now, if I wanted to enter, and I'll just let it enter. Hopefully this bar closes up. It's 10 o'clock already. So you'll see that it's going to enter the order for me if this closes up. This one is specifically like a close bar entry indicator. You got a balloon? You're so silly. I'll keep that like that. But if I wanted it to be a sell, that's what that would do. Now I can also make it to where it's like, all right, at the close of a sell bar, enter a buy. Or I could say at the close of any bar, which is the next bar, enter a buy. So that's kind of what that second little button is for. The -1 here just basically means put my order one tick beyond the close of the bar. If I had it at 0, it would just put the order right at the close of the bar. If I had it at +1, it would be, I would need 1 tick of a retracement below or, you know, above the close of the bar in order to enter the order. And of course, now that I want it to reverse, it's not going to. So we'll just wait for the next reversal bar. It's sim anyway, so you'll be able to see kind of how it works. Bye-bye. Oh, you're gonna fall. But yeah, this is a indicator from Affordable Indicators, which is kind of a subjective word because some of his indicators are kind of expensive. This one I actually got on sale, so. But if you watch Nutty Bar Trading on YouTube, he uses one of their chart traders as well. He doesn't use the one that I use though, which makes sense because he doesn't trade Rinko, so he doesn't really need a closed bar. I forget the one that he uses, but he definitely uses one of theirs. And then also when I show you guys the accounts dashboard at the end of the stream, where I show you like my account balances, how close or far I am from passing or failing an account, that's also from Affordable Indicators. I think it's just called accounts dashboard if I'm not mistaken. So that's what this looks like. Oh shoot, you guys couldn't even see because I was just showing you that. All right, I'll do it again just so you can see. I'll do it again. That should be more than. What a nice trade. Too bad it's not on my actual accounts. Oh, my nephew's getting in trouble. Keep that in the middle. Okay, I'll keep that like that so you can see on the next time it reverses. And you'll be able to see it put my entry in. He gonna get a spanking. All right, so you see how the entry is like not at the close of the bar? That's by design, because I want it one tick beyond. But you can see that immediately when the bar closed, it entered the trade for me. I got the stop loss and the take profit, and then you already saw how the trail-in worked on the last trade. My nephew is crazy. But yeah, so that's how that works. All right, now back to the real charts. So that's just my preference and how I trade it. But there's different ways you could do it. So like, I know some people, like Ninja has a strategy where you basically enter on an outside bar, which like this would be considered an outside bar because the wick of this bar came outside of the previous candles or whatever. And so if you were trading like where you wanted to do outside bars, what did he do? He hit his cheek. His cheek red. Did he hit it on something? Let me see. Cohen did it. Why you blaming your brother that ain't even here? Come here. Okay. Well, I hope your cheeks stay red. Anyway. You know what? Now I'm regretting not taking that buy. I still don't all the way know how I want to do the 1 bar pullbacks just yet, because the 2 that happened today are ones that I don't really normally take, but I'm starting to feel like because of where they happen, like you can see it rotated over this level that I just got. Okay. Just wet the napkin in the bathroom, baby. Can you help your brother? Bubba, can you help him so he doesn't get water everywhere? Kids. I wanted to go look at the other 1 bar pullback that I didn't take. Wasn't there one? No, you know what? I don't think it ever actually closed there. I think I was just saying like I didn't want to take it. But then there was another bar that painted, I believe. Oh no, no, that's the one I did take. It's this one. Ah. Okay, that kind of makes sense. I want to see. Stop running before you fall. I think I can take those. 1 bar pullbacks don't happen a whole lot, but I think I kind of figured out how I can take that particular one that I'm usually not too keen on. Alright, yeah, I think I figured out how to do it. Basically, I feel like if it rotates over my level that changes my trend, so like here it changed from a downtrend to an uptrend right there. I feel like if it rotates over the level, I can still take it, because normally that particular one I do avoid. Are you yelling at me? Oh, I thought he said TT. He's yelling at his sister. But anyway, so that's like another 2 wins that I could have had. Even though the zigzag, I know for sure on the last one the zigzag changed. This one I don't think it did. I think I could still stay in the trade. You know, some days they come over and they're so chill. One is in one room, one is in the other. I think they're so used to being together that sometimes they just want their time to themselves. But this morning, they're running around like mad men and mad women. All right. So far right now, I do have a rule where like when there's a 1 bar pullback, I don't take the first swing down, which would be divergence, and I don't want to take the next swing either. And I don't know if I'll end up changing that one, like where I can still take the second one, but for now I don't. And it's basically just because like I'm looking for a certain volume pattern, and I cannot look at that volume pattern if there's a 1 bar pullback. So yeah, but I might end up changing it because like for instance with this trade, that would have just triggered my break even. So I guess we'll see how the trade would turn out, but that was like a perfect entry for me, and I know I would have gotten filled. It came back to it twice. So still a few kinks that I have to work out, because like I told you guys, I don't care about being able to take every single trade, but if there is a pattern that sets up a lot and I'm going to win more than lose, like at least win 70%, lose 30, I'm cool. A lot of rules that I've created is because either it's losing a lot, like that particular pattern, or it's breaking even a lot. Because with the break evens, if it's breaking even too much, then my wins are not going to cover the losses. All right, so that one just broke even. It went 22 ticks, came back to where my entry would have been. I don't want to take this sell because this reversal bar reacted off my major level right here. So I don't want to take that sell. Can definitely tell it's after 10 because there's after 10 o'clock there's like so much volume in each reversal bar. You don't really see that between 8:30 and 10. A reversal candle might have like 200 to 600-700 volume in it, just kind of depending. But then after 10, it's like every single one has over 1,000 for the most part, usually like 1,200 plus. This one's at almost 1,500 already. You change the settings. Could you swing trade with wrinkles? It looks like it's best for range trading intraday. I wouldn't say it's best for range trading intraday, and the only reason why I would say that is because when there's like a inside day or like a range day, typically I get less trades. So like today I've taken 6 trades, which is decent. But when the market is trending, I will typically have like 20 trades, 15 to 20 in a 2.5 hour time span. So I feel like you could use it either way, but the thing is, it depends on how you use it. Like, because I'm so strict with my rules and I'm trading volume based, which this is the other reason why I wanted to focus on volume. And the crazy thing is, you guys, like around this time last year is when I first started trying to figure out like how to make a Renko based volume trading strategy, right? But I could not figure it out. I couldn't. But all the chart time that I've put in since then, and it probably was a little after this time last year, but either way, I know for sure I was looking in one of my journals for something else and I said, oh my God, I was trying to figure out volume then. But I wanted to figure out how to do volume-based trading because my thought process is I'm trading strictly price action, so that's going to help. And then if I trade volume based on top of that, I should be able to create a strategy that transcends any market condition, whether the market conditions are choppy on a time-based chart, whether it's trending, whether there's low volume, low volatility, high volatility. None of it should matter in the end because everything I'm doing is based off of volume regardless. So that was my thought process when I was trying to, while I'm in the process of putting this together. And that's why it takes a while, because like when I'm back testing, right, I'm looking at data across different times of the market, like summer, winter, spring, fall. I'm looking at different weeks, like as far as high volume, low volume weeks, high volatility, low volatility weeks. I'm like looking at a bunch of different stuff. And that's why it's going to take me a little while longer before I completely figure out how I want to do this. Just because sometimes, like, okay, for instance, with the last back test that I did, I think it was over this past weekend, I looked through over 400 trades, okay? 400. Now, the thing is, though, I'm close inside. T-stop. Hold on one second. All right. That didn't touch there. The thing is, though, sometimes, you know, in that 400 trades, I still have to divide those 400 plus trades into different segments based on the setups that I'm looking at. So I trade, like, I would say about 7 different setups. I have regular pullbacks. I have an alternate type of pullback. There's a third type of pullback / reversal. So there's 3 types of pullbacks that I trade in the direction of the trend. Then I also trade those same 3 where it's basically counter trend, and most of the time when those set up and they start, like when you guys see it on your screen, it doesn't really look like it's counter trend, because basically it's still creating, like, it's starting from, let's say, a higher high, creates the higher low, and then a lower high, something like that. So it still looks like structure, right? But remember, I have like a minor trend and major trend or whatever. So anyway, so sometimes depending with those 3, that's basically 2 different setups per strategy for those 3. So that's 6. But I still just count them as 3. Then I have divergence. My divergence trades are, some of them are strictly counter trend. Some of them are just deeper pullbacks of my overall bias. And then the divergence also looks different. So sometimes it's a higher high divergence. Other times it's a lower high, higher high divergence. I trade those different. Then I basically have divergences that happen at my major levels. So it's basically a bigger pullback to the major level to continue in the direction of the overall trend bias. And then I have 1 bar pullbacks. So because I have to divide those 400 plus trades into each setup, but then each setup has their own setup inside of them, sometimes you don't have all the data that you need, but you're tired of back testing like I am, so you just say, screw it. Some of this stuff we'll just figure out along the way. And that's kind of where I'm at. Well, hello. 17, 12. All right. I actually liked this trade. The volume pattern that I was looking for, it kind of spiked in the end, so I didn't see it happen. But either way, I would have just tried to break even right here anyway, because with this particular divergence, there was seller pressure that pushed it, but then buyer pressure came in right after, so I would have gotten out of that one. And it did just come back and hit the break even. So as you can see. What are you doing? Sorry, y'all, if y'all hear my nephew. He's 2 and he don't know how to stay out. Come here. You got something in your hair. Come here. Come here. You got something in your hair. And I need to take your hair down because TT has to wash your hair today. What? You want to keep your hair up? Yeah, but I have to wash your hair today. He doesn't like wearing his hair curly and down anymore. I have to take your hair down so I can wash it and put it back up. Because you looking janky. Oh, yeah, that was pretty loud. Anyways. So yeah, it's probably going to take me like at least another month before I feel like I don't have to make any adjustments anymore. But the core group of my rules is done. It's just certain things like, let's say by the time I like filter through some of the trades, you know, because I basically like I'll filter through based on each setup. That's how I have the Microsoft Excel sheet. And then by the time I start to edit each sheet by kind of like removing the trades that no longer fit the rules that I've created, then sometimes I'm only down to like 10 trades for that particular setup. So I kind of have a gist of what I'm looking for, but you know, sometimes there's things where I'm like real iffy on. Like there was a trade, I think 2 days ago, there were 2 trades that I lost where I literally have it written in my journal. Like I'm not quite sure how I want this to be. And then after I lost those, I was like, okay, now I'm pretty sure. Because sometimes you just need to see it happen a couple of more times before you're like, all right, I get it. I get it. You don't want me to trade you. And that's how it is. All right, there is a buy rotation level right here, which basically means that, and it's based off of this high over here. If price pushes up and typically like comes back down and tests it, it's going to take off in that direction. Or if it creates divergence like it did here and comes down, a lot of times it's going to start trading below it and stay below it. So basically this won't change into an uptrend until it gets above that buy rotation level. So we'll kind of see what happens with that. And then also there's like another resistance level right there. So we kind of basically, this reversal bar happened off of both of those levels. Again, I could have gotten into that trade. It's just the last little spike of volume I was looking for just happened faster than I could click the button to say get into the trade at the close of the bar. But because buyer pressure came in immediately, we would have had a break even, so it didn't really matter. It's whatevs. What do we got? 40 minutes left. Thoughts? Do I think we go up from here or down? Let's see. Well, if I know I like looking at charts kind of zoomed in because I'm scalping, so really the minor trend only matters. But I know some people like to look at the overall trend. So from here to here is when we change from, you know, the uptrend to the downtrend to the uptrend. However, we still haven't really cleared this last lower high. So this is kind of like a little minor trend inside. But I think until we clear this lower high over here, I would say that it's going to continue down, because technically these little minor uptrends right here, just, I mean, I guess that's a higher high, but a higher high compared to this lower high over here. However, we didn't really clear it and we just wicked off of that level. So we could have just had this be like a larger pullback to continue in the direction of the trend, because technically that's kind of like it's not really a double top, because on Rincos I consider it a double top, and this is how it paints on there too. But it's basically a double top when it's the high of or low of one bar and the bar that you're comparing it is within 4 ticks of each other, and that's 4 points. But I'm gonna say we're probably gonna continue down. It depends. All right, if we can clear, we're like in a weird level right now. If we can clear this yellow line I just drew and also clear the VWAP down here, then I'm gonna say we're probably gonna be going down. Right now we're kind of in a level of indecision because this zone right here, let me draw the zone that I'm looking at. We have a resistance level here, resistance level there, my minor levels here, my major levels here. So this is kind of a real wonky zone, which before we even got to this point, I already saw that like the levels were already there. We just had to get into the zone first. But for as long as we're in the zone, it's going to consolidate. So if you're in trades right now, don't be surprised if it consolidates for a while, at least for a little bit. But if we could push below here, I think that we'll continue down. But I think we're going to continue down regardless. But we'll see though. We technically need to clear the top of this zone in 2025 in order for me to feel like we're actually going to be in an uptrend. I've been in a downtrend bias for a little minute now. I don't really like that trade. Let's see. So this downtrend bias started at like 9:10 this month. Yeah, 9:10. No, I'm lying. No, because we changed to an uptrend since then. Let me see when this one started. This one started at 10:02, so about 30 minutes. All right. I probably could have taken that trade, but it just looked really weird. My major trend wasn't really the color I wanted it to be, so that's why I didn't take it. I wouldn't have gotten filled on it anyway, so it didn't really matter. And typically I'm almost certain that I don't get filled on it, and that's why I don't have that as a rule to even take it. We might try to create divergence here, but the close will be back inside of that zone. So this is the other thing. My minor level is in front of the major one, but on top of it. So the other thing that I want to see in order for me to feel like this is going to be a for real downtrend is I want my minor level to get below basically the bottom of this zone, which I'm pretty sure I've said before. I use a version of a half trend indicator to like give me my major and minor levels in direction. You can see this bar tried to go back inside the zone and it stopped and kind of came back. We'll see what happens with it. But the way all my levels look is probably going to consolidate still some more, even if this closes up. It just looks really weird. I think we range trade till next month, tomorrow, Monday. At best, a slight push up if volume increases, probably. The market conditions haven't been the best of the best, but they haven't been horrible either. Like for me, the fact that I still get some trades, whether win, lose, or draw, is good. because, and it's so weird, like how when you look at the market in different ways, you see things so different. Like the only time I see choppiness, quote unquote, is like this. Like this is clearly choppy, right? But if I opened up a 1 minute or 2 minute chart, which a lot of scalpers trade off of, these last couple of days have looked trash. Like really bad, where if you are a scalper and you scalp on time-based charts, if you don't like choppy markets, then this was not for you. If you like to trade pullbacks and things like that, these market conditions were not the best. But again, that's just based off of how you see the market though. All right, so there's my hunch, I guess, was kind of right. That was considered a double top to me. And we're starting to move down. We're moving below. This bar tried to close inside of it. It just created an outside bar, rejected off the bottom of the zone that I painted. And now my minor trend is moved in front of the major one, and we're pushing on down. Pushing on down. What ended up happening was when it got up to, let me see where the level is at. When it got up here, again, I have two levels that price has to clear in order for me to feel like it's an actual trend change, right? So this was the first level, literally at the top of that zone. We kind of cleared it a little bit, but not all the way. Because we just kind of wicked down off of it. The second level is like up at 20, 25, somewhere up there. So once we didn't clear both levels, that's why I felt like we were going to move down from there. What is that up there? I can't even, I think that's it's 1K. Now, because the first level cleared and the second one did not, this is the like next level where it could just be pushing off of this to actually go up and go back and clear both of those levels that are up there. I have seen that happen quite a bit actually. Or we can end up pushing off of this resistance level and just pushing below it, and then now we're really in a downtrend. So right now, because the two levels that I use to determine my overall bias are opposite of each other, kind of, yeah, we'll see. If we can clear this low down here, I think we'll be fine. But you can see it's trying to react off of it again. What we might do is, if this bar closes up, it might close up and then the very next bar close down, and then we just clear and just drop from there. So we'll see. I'll keep it a little zoomed out so you guys can see the overall structure. Now, I don't particularly like this buy because of that resistance level being there. We're rotating over it. The sell could be a good sell though, if it's a 1 bar pullback. We'll see. We will see. I'll just break even if buyer pressure comes in, but we'll just see what happens. Actually, I don't. I'm not gonna take it. Actually, I will. If it loses, it loses. Whatever. See what happens. Or do I want to? Actually, I'm not. If it wins and I miss it, that's okay. Alright, so I would have just set a break even just now because the zigzag wasn't attached right away and I would have just broken even. So there you go. I always like to do that. That was a good trade though, you could see. It reacted nicely. I always try to get out of trades if the zigzag is not attached to it right away. Only because that means that there's indecision, because the zigzag that I use is based on volume. So if it doesn't attach to the entry bar, that means that the volume is indecisive, essentially. So I would have broken even anyway. Would have broken anyway. Alright, this is the second move after the 1 bar pullback, so I'm not going to get into that. What might end up happening is we push down here and then create divergence that I'm looking for to go in for a buy. And this would be a complete counter trend divergence because the overall bias is a downtrend. Okay, or we could do that too. Alright, let me remove the zones up there. Now, if we can wick off of this level and come down, but I don't know about. Alright, so this sell is invalidated already from the 1 bar pullback, and the next buy, well, yeah, the next buy is invalidated too, whether it's divergence or even if it comes down and like rotates over this level, that's gonna be invalid as well. So I have to wait to see. I think we ranged. Took the trade going down, made a couple hundred. I love to see it. Congrats. I like that Rinko isn't time-based. I'm going to play with it over the weekend. Yeah, that's why I like it. Because you can't deny pure price action. Like I said, though, it's just a matter of how you want to trade it. So whatever your normal strategy is, like even if you trade ICT or whatever, it's just a version of Wyckoff. The whole accumulation distribution stuff. First of all, you're probably not going to see that on Rinkos anyway because it's price action. But either way, whatever you normally trade, put your regular chart on one side, put your Rinko charts on the other. If you trade on the Nasdaq, use the always use the Ninja Rinkos. That's my preferred. I think I like those best because there are some Rinkos that don't have wicks, and wicks are important, right? But anyway, try the 20-in-1 chart like I'm trading on because it's very smooth, as you can see. There's not a whole lot of fake outs, and normally if you're going to see consolidation, it's consolidation, right? So just put your normal chart on one side, put your Rinko charts on the other, and just look at them. and just see if there's a way for you to perfect what you're already doing, but using Rinkos could possibly be better because it's price based and not time based, because time really doesn't matter at all. You know, for someone who trades like on a time based chart, right? I know people who go for 12 ticks, for instance, and it takes them a couple minutes to get that 12 ticks. But you guys have never seen me, I don't think, in a trade for minutes at a time. Maybe when I first got onto YouTube, because I still was trying to figure my strategy out. So sometimes after 10 o'clock, you would have that happen. But at this point, most of my trades, I'm getting 6 points in 30 seconds or less. So that means it's precise and it's reacting off certain levels and with certain volume that makes the most sense for the way that I'm trading. If you're scalping, you should be able to be in and out with however many ticks you're looking for very easily. Now, if you prefer to do more like intraday swinging, I would probably tell you you could still do the 20 in 1 chart, honestly. Because once it reacts off whatever level you're looking for, you could just enter once you get the confirmation and just take off from there. So like for instance, because I'm not looking for the next buy anyway, when we created this little, let's say that you had a zone right here, right? And we created what looks like, it's basically a double top right there, these 2 levels. So we had that minor uptrend to push back up into, let's say your zone was there. You can enter there and just let it ride. Look how far it's gone since then. That's a long way. Hold on, I gotta look at 691, 3.6. Oh, you know what? Oh, she's yelling. Oh, Lord. But anyway, you can see that this trend started at 18,000. What was that, 1550? Look how far down we've gone since then. Oh yeah, he's in trouble. Oh, he in trouble. All right, I'm gonna get into a counter trend trade and we'll see what happens. Boom. All right, so this trade 41.26, that took me 10 seconds to get 6 points. So when someone asked me the other day why am I trading against the trend, that's why. It's just I didn't have everything set the way I wanted it to just yet. And like I said, it's still going to take me time to figure things out the exact way I want it to be. Come here, baby. Come here. You okay? What's wrong? You want to watch TT's phone? Yeah. Where's my phone? Where is it? Can you go get it? Go get TT's phone. And you can watch TT's phone, okay? Alright. Thank you, baby. You gotta stop getting in trouble. Here. Lay down. Okay. He always getting in trouble, child. Alright, gotta pay attention a little bit because I might need to break even on this next buy, so we'll see. If it pushes up from here. I didn't see the pattern that I was looking for. It pulled back to my major level back here first for the sell, but it wasn't the pattern I was looking for. So look for the next buy. It's gonna be rotating over my major level, which basically just means the previous swing. All right, that invalidated itself. The previous swing closed on it. The next one will, so that's what I call a rotate. All right, let's see. Rio, you said you're testing Rincos too. Hi, Trenches. Good morning. Do I have a boyfriend on the stream? It's crazy. It is. Very crazy. Have I had any lag issues today? Actually, no. I didn't have issues Monday because I was off the charts before then. Tuesday, I had issues where like I would enter the trade, the text would be there, but the lines were not there. That was very weird. All right, 1883. All right, so we did have a push off of the VWAP right there. So that was like really weird. And then yesterday I definitely had issues. My charts froze at 842 like everyone else's did. But before it froze, I already knew it was a problem because the last trade that I got into, when it exited, I looked and my lag timer was at 7 seconds. And I was like, oh, this is not good. This is not good at all. And then it just kept going up and up and up and up from there. And then yeah. So that was that. Now, did it not enter me into that trade? Wait a second, you guys. Because why is my data so off? Oh my God. I'm not in positions. Okay, we gotta cancel those orders. I didn't get put into, yeah, no, this is not good. Okay, I can't have price come back down there because I'm like, why? Jesus Christ. Let me go into Rhythmic real quick. I'm like, why is one of my accounts basically break even, but the other ones aren't? And I realized that I never got filled on the follower accounts, which is not good. And the way price is moving, okay, give me a second because we're gonna shut this bad boy. Well, hold on. Yeah, it's not canceling the freaking orders. Rhythmic, please don't try to screw me. That would not be good. Recent orders. Filter orders. But there's no working orders right now. Y'all can see like I'm break even on that account, but the other ones are still like negative. So I was thoroughly confused, and then because I looked at the positions tab, there's nothing in it. But then when I look in the orders tab, you guys can see I've continuously tried to cancel. I've clicked the buttons. There's no cancel. So that's not good. So you know what, Trenches? I think you brought the lag over with your comments. I can't tell you the last time I've ever had this happen. All right, so I'm gonna shut it down and I'll bring the program back up. Only thing is it does throw some of my data off when I do this, but sometimes when I do that and I go back in, the orders will go away. So let's see. I hope, because what I don't want, so it's not showing that I have any pending orders in Rhythmic. So because of that, when I pull NinjaTrader back up, those orders should go away because that just means that it's a routing issue, and the NinjaTrader orders are local until they route through. So let's see, let's hope. Please go away. That really sucks. But this is another reason why I always have my account that has the highest available drawdown left. This is always why I have that as the leader account, because that would have made me mad if I didn't make some of this money back on a really good trade on the account that matters the most. So, all right, the orders are gone now, as you can see. So if you ever have that issue, the flatten does not work, or cancel all orders doesn't work, just close your NinjaTrader and come back into it. It's going to take a minute for everything to load. I actually have two workspaces open. I have the workspace that, I use to stream and actually trade off of. And then I have a second workspace where I record my trades on. Because with the online trade journal that I use, if you wanted to record like the screenshots and everything for each individual account, you have to have a chart open for each individual account. And I like to have, not all of my indicators are on the recording charts, but I like to have some of them on, just so, in case I can always look. That way I don't have to go back and look which one was my leader account, so I can go into the trade to look at that screenshot. But it always screenshots all of my trades for me, which is cool. And I like. All right, so I don't know if you guys remember, but let's see if I can go back. Oh, I don't even see where it happened now. But as you guys can see, from the time I took that counter trend trade, the people ask me why I do. We have pushed up from the low of that was like around 98.50, and now we're up to 66.25. So basically 66 points from the buy that I took down there. So that's why I said you could use Rinkos to scalp, but you can also use Rinkos to do larger moves. And then you can say like, all right, we got a pullback. I'm going to stay in this pullback until we create a lower high, and then I'll get out. But you have to be careful, because sometimes that lower high can be false, because it's just happening like this is a major resistance level, right? So let's say price came up here, came down, created the lower high and pushed down. It might have only pushed down temporarily just because that level was there, and then like it did here, just push on up. But as long as it's making higher lows, you can literally just stay in the trade, because typically you're either going to switch trends. So like here, let's say you got in all the way up there, all the way up here, right? You can see we still have lower highs, lower highs. Now, this was actually a lower high right here. It's just off because of me having to restart the program. But as soon as it created this higher low right here and closed that bar, you can say, all right, I'm out. Now, depending on how many, like what your Renko settings is, though, this is a lot to lose out of drawdown if you are still having to worry about the trailing drawdown. But you could have different exit rules. Like you could just say, hey, if it pulls back a certain number of ticks, get out. Or maybe like if it goes lower than let me see if I can find a good example. I might not be able to. Might not be able to. We actually were kind of trending pretty well today. Or like, let's say here where you have, let's say you were in a buy right here and it created a double bottom. You could decide that, hey, once I get back to the highest point of the previous swing, I'll get out. Because sometimes when you create that double bottom like that, especially my overall bias was a sell at the time, but you could just be kind of coming back into a different zone. So yeah, this is showing you guys you could use Rinkos to scalp or to do intraday swinging. It just depends on what you're personally looking for. You got out and made a total of $4. Does that mean $400? Is that what you think? You've had some small issues with Tradeovate yesterday and today. Nothing close to the one day 2 weeks ago, but that's why I asked, because I've seen people. So let me tell y'all something. There has been a couple of people that's been saying different things about Tradeovate, I think since Friday, pretty much around the same time people were complaining about Rhythmic, right? So in one of the Facebook groups, the day that we had the issues with Rhythmic, I think it was Monday, I took the post from Discord, put it in one of the Facebook groups. You guys know I'm a mod in the Apex Discord, and sometimes I just want to make sure, not everybody's in Discord, so hey, look, if there's an issue, stay out. So this person says something like, you know, I've been having trade evade issues, whatever they said. I said, I haven't seen anyone say anything yet. That's all I said. Okay. Did not say that the person was not having a problem. I'm just saying I haven't seen anybody else say anything at the moment. Next thing you know, the person is going back and forth talking about, I called them a nobody. They're commenting on other people's comments on the post like, yeah, well, I'm a nobody. So, da da da. And I'm like, what? So I tell the person like, I didn't call you a nobody. You called yourself a nobody. I said I haven't seen anybody say anything yet. That has nothing to do with you. Like, common sense would tell you that I mean that I haven't seen anybody else say anything. And this is when my nice side goes away, because don't put words in my mouth. Like, you're doing too much. I just came here to tell rhythmic people, because you don't even trade on rhythmic. I told rhythmic people what's going on. I don't know nothing about trade evade. All I could tell you is that at the time, I haven't seen anybody else say anything. And that was it. You know? And that is what reminded me of why I don't be on Facebook like that. Because, like, I didn't even have to come here and say anything, and y'all could have just been in the dark. But I have seen people like sporadically say stuff about trade evade. I just know every time we've literally had rhythmic issues every day this week, basically. They've always gone and tested trade evade and said like there's no widespread issue, or they can't replicate the issue on their end. So I don't know. You was in a trade, it didn't show on your chart, but your P&L was going up, and ooh, that's not good. And I'm gonna tell you guys, if you guys can record your screens, if you trade on a computer, download OBS, it's free. Just hit the start recording button and record your screens every time you trade. If nothing, like some people do it just so they can go back, you know, and when it comes to developing their strategy. But I think because we are working with a prop firm, I think that it's best that you guys record your screens, because I feel like recently, besides them being able to replicate issues on their end, recently, you know, it's kind of hard for you to say there's nothing going on when you have all these people sending in screenshot proof. Not just screenshots, but videos. Like, I remember late last year when Rhythmic was having problems, there was a guy who recorded his screen, posted the video up in one of the, like, not the official Facebook group, of course they wouldn't allow that in there, but in one of the affiliate Facebook groups, right? And he literally was showing how he was not doing anything, was not clicking any button, and the orders were just looping. Order close, order fill, like, it was just crazy. And I was just like, oh my God. And when things like that happen, it's impossible for them to say, no, it's you. Like, whenever we've had rhythmic issues and I've reported it before, like, everyone else started to report it, you know, the immediate response was from support was, oh, well, it's your equipment or your internet. And then, like, within 10 minutes, the mass majority of people are starting to have the issues. I don't know if maybe sometimes I see the issues a little bit quicker because I have very fast internet and a very fast computer. Because for some people, it could be their equipment or their internet. For me, I don't care how many users you have, like, for them, it's like, oh, well, it's 100,000 users or 160,000 users. So if 1,000 people are having a problem, it's not a widespread issue. Yes, it is. Because if those 1,000 people live in different parts of the country, have different types of equipment, have different types of internet, but they're all having issues at the same time, well, that means it's widespread. I don't know if they go based off of a certain percentage. I don't know. I have no idea. But whenever they've told me it's your equipment or your internet, I politely tell them there's absolutely no way, because I'm pretty sure I trade with some of the best internet and equipment, probably more than anybody does. Like, I have an octa-core processor, Intel, 64 gigs of RAM. I only trade on one instrument with a couple of charts open, so I'm not using much of my processor speed or a lot of my RAM. And then my internet is 650 megabytes per second upload and download speed. You cannot tell me it's either one of those. It's impossible. But I think that because so many people are starting to screen record, you can't deny when 100 people are sending you videos of the same thing happening to them. You know what I mean? Now, thankfully, the last couple of times Rhythmic has actually acknowledged that there is an issue, because there were times where it's clearly rhythmic, and they'll say, oh, we can't replicate it. Oh, it's not our problem. Yeah, it is. I tell anybody, in the 4+ years that I've had a NinjaTrader account, I've never, ever seen any of these things that happen on Rhythmic happen on CQG on my personal account. Never. Never. And I don't know if it's because of the sim servers that they have. I don't really know. Because even yesterday, some people are saying other props weren't affected, but yes, they were. I don't know if it was based on region or what, because there are streamers that I watch who literally logged into their other prop firms and showed that the same data was missing and the data was lagging. But when people logged into their personal accounts, even if it was Rhythmic personal account, no issue. I think it's the sim servers, number one. And I think that also Rhythmic just can't handle the volume that Apex gives it. Now, yesterday was a different story. It was a for real outage across, it looks like, most of the sim servers, so that's a little bit different. But I just think Rhythmic sucks. And if they ever have a CQG connection without me having to have Tradeovate, baby, all these accounts are gone. Okay, I will switch over. So I don't even care if they PAs. I will withdraw my money and go about my business and start all over just to have CQG data. I hate it. I really hate it. See you, Rio and BizPhone. Thank you guys for tuning in. First PA is almost back to 52.6 and evals are I love it. Yeah, it's called OBS. There's Streamlabs and then there's Stream Elements OBS, if I'm not mistaken. Just Google like OBS Studio and I'll show you what the icon should look like. It should look like this because there's two different ones. Actually, let me do this. Let me do it this way. No, not 10 seconds. 3 seconds. Hello, it's been 3 seconds. Oh, here we go. All right. Because I want you to see the different icons because there's two different OBSs, I think. So there's a Stream Labs, which looks like the bottom one. I use that for gaming, but this one makes me, it like closes my NinjaTrader for whatever reason. So I like to use the one on top, the OBS Studio. And legit, there's a button that you just click start recording, stop recording, and it'll record whatever screen that you see at the time. And yeah, I think that's the best thing for you to do. And if you trade on a phone, just use your screen recorder, but it's definitely important. You got 1,000 megabytes per second in a gaming PC. I wish they would say it exactly. Like, don't say that's my equipment. You're crazy. You are insane to even think that that's okay. Period. All right, so let me show you guys the accounts before I get off because it is 11 o'clock and you guys know I gotta go. Oh, you know what? Well, yeah, I'm gonna do that, and then I'm gonna actually bomb this first account that's showing so I can get my free reset tomorrow. So this is where we're at. Let me remove this. So all of these accounts actually should be looking like this account, but unfortunately the last trade that I was in, some way somehow we did not get filled. I think I remember seeing an orange order. I don't remember, but either way, we didn't get filled on the other three, and that's my leader account. So it's all good. Not a bad day at all. I think out of all the trades I took, there's only one trade where I'm kind of like, I might make a certain rule for that particular, not necessarily the volume pattern, but like the pattern of the swings for that particular trade. Not quite sure just yet, but I'm almost certain. So we'll see. Overall, technically a break-even day, possibly with, you know, I'll look into the 1-bar pullbacks because had I added those two 1-bar pullbacks, both of those were wins. One of them I probably would have ended up breaking even on, I'm not sure. But either way, not a bad day at all. You guys can see that I am still a little bit positive in this account right here, which is good. I'm actually going to, let me make sure my trade copier is not, let's see. And then I need to close my recorder because whenever I bomb an account, I don't want it to record my trade. Like I'm bombing it on purpose. So I don't need that negative energy in my trade journal. All right, so the account number I need to bomb is 17, I think. Yeah, 17, and I need to lose 760 on it. All right, so let's do this. Now, there was a couple of times where I attempted to do this, and some way, somehow, even though I tried to bomb it, it didn't work. I ended up getting all my drawdown back, which was cool at first, but then it was not a good idea after that, because then I lost a week of trading once it actually ended up failing. So we got, let's turn that on like that. So at 10 ticks, at 10 contracts, it's $50 a point. All right, let's just hopefully this works. I just want to bomb it real quick so I can go on about my day. Let's do it like that. Wait, why is that white now? That's weird. But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. Thank you guys for tuning in. I think at one point I saw there was 13 people tuned in at one time. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Like I said, I'm about to bomb this account, so tomorrow you guys are only going to see 3 accounts, because the one I'm bombing renews tomorrow, but it's not going to come back into... I won't start trading it again until like the week of the 11th, because I like to give myself 3 weeks to trade an account, not 4, at least not in this moment. So yeah, we'll see. But I hope you guys are having a good trading day. If you're red, turn it green. Don't end up red like me. And I will see you guys tomorrow morning, bright and early at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time for the last stream of the week. You guys enjoy the rest of your day and your evening as well. See you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.